How's it going, guys, and welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the Flama Diddle. If you'd like to farm the Flama Diddle for yourself, you're going to want to fast travel over to the Cankerwood on Xylurgos and run all the way through over to the cave where you'll find a save station right in front of the arena where you fight Wendigo. Drop on down, kill Wendigo, and hopefully get yourself a Flama Diddle. The Flama Diddle is a legendary Tediore shotgun locked to incendiary damage and able to roll with 9 or 10 pellets for 1 ammo per shot, or 13 or 15 for 2. The Flama Diddle is also able to roll with the standard bouncy homing or turret reload. It is also full auto. As for the actual effect of the Diddle, the projectiles fired form a square surrounding the center projectile and slowly diverge out from it. Each pellet will also wave through the air as it does so. These projectiles also deal splash damage and will ricochet off surfaces once. All of the chuck modes will also fire out these same projectiles. The Flama Diddle has had one direct buff being a 20% weapon damage increase, though was hit by the overall Tediore nerf of having 50% reduced reload explosion damage. So starting off here, I did give all of the variants of the Diddle a good old try, but within their ammo cost, really I found that just the higher pellet count is the better option, as it often is. So the times 10 and the times 15 are really the only two worth talking about here, which even out of those two, the times 15 kind of just felt like it was the obvious winner out of all of them, pretty much overshadowing almost everything else damage-wise. The only reason that I found to use a one shot per cost variant is simply the ammo consumption. The ammo consumption on the Flama Diddle can definitely be pretty damn high at times, which does also kind of lead into the overall damage issue with it, in that while the damage of it is very good, it's kind of not great for the amount of ammo you'll blow through. Between it having a pretty decent fire rate and being full auto, you can definitely blow through your entire ammo reserves pretty damn quickly, and while you will be killing a decent bit of enemies with that ammo, I'm not entirely sure it's enough. It was able to very easily take on Mollywant takedown enemies, and hell, it even worked up into True Guardian takedown pretty well, but while it was killing, again, it was just taking a decent bit of ammo to do so. So this is definitely a case where it's the lower damage that is making the ammo consumption feel heavier, because you're requiring more shots than you otherwise should to dispatch enemies. So I do have to say it was honestly quite the surprise that this was actually killing at all, as I kind of had the assumption that this gun was pretty shit. There is also definitely a sweet spot to get used to with the Flama Diddle, kind of around where the first time that all the projectiles converge back inwards, that's where you want to hit a lot of your enemies. It takes some getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, your damage will definitely skyrocket. However, it's worth keeping in mind that with heavy rain, as it increases the projectile speed, it makes this sweet spot happen way further out, and honestly, it makes it almost unusable. I feel like heavy rain definitely heavily nerfs this fucking weapon. Following that though, the chuck on it was also a pretty big surprise, though definitely ran through ammo pretty damn quickly. Though that's not necessarily a point against this gun, as that's kind of just a thing with all Tediore shotguns that aren't a MIRV. It is also worth with some of the chucks keeping a distance to give it some time to fire out all of those projectiles, as they do actually still deal a lot of damage in the chuck form. And it can be the difference maker of if you actually kill an enemy or not. But this is one of the few guns that is actually pretty good for shooting and also still pretty good for chucking. It just entirely depends on what your build is meant to do. But yeah, I mean, really, the Flama Diddle is honestly a pretty solid weapon. It's not too terrible, it's not anything too great, but it is at least unique in the fact that it is one of the few weapons that can both work for a chucking and just a general shooting build. It is also pretty enjoyable to do both with. It does of course have a couple drawbacks, being locked to incendiary and having some pretty bad ammo consumption for the damage that it deals. However, I do think I would enjoy this gun far more if instead of being full auto, it was semi-auto with a slower fire rate and significantly increased damage to kind of play into that sweet spot a little bit more and make it feel more precision based, while also not blowing through ammo as fast. But that's about do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that. Down in the description will be a link to my Twitch channel where you can follow to be notified of when I go live, and just below that is a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.